Stop scrolling. I need you to hear this. An AI model just found 500 security flaws that every human hacker on Earth missed. And that's not even the craziest part. Because the same AI triggered a $285 billion stock market crash before it even launched. And what OpenAI did in response, honestly, I still can't believe it. But I'll get to that. First, let me tell you what Anthropic just dropped, because once you understand what Opus 4.6 actually does, you're going to look at every AI tool you're using right now and realize it's already outdated. So, here's what happened. On February 5th, Anthropic released Claude Opus 4.6. And the name makes it sound like some boring point update, right? Like going from version 4.5 to 4.6, big deal. No. This is like going from a bicycle to a fighter jet and calling it a minor upgrade. Let me explain. Opus 4.6 can now process 1 million tokens in a single conversation. In normal English, that means you can feed it 750,000 words at once. That's like taking 15 full books, dropping them into one chat, and the AI actually reads and remembers every single page, every paragraph, every sentence. Now, other companies have tried this before. Google tried it. OpenAI tried it. And you know what happens? The AI starts forgetting things halfway through. It gets confused. It starts making stuff up. They tested Opus 4.6 by hiding 8 tiny pieces of information across 1 million tokens, and this model found 76% of them. Google's Gemini 3 Pro found 26% on the same test. That's not a competition. That's embarrassing. But here's where this gets wild, and I need you to pay attention to this next part, because it changes everything about how we think about AI. Anthropic introduced something called agent teams, and this sounds like science fiction, but it's real, and it's available right now. Instead of one AI helping you with a task, you can now have multiple AI agents working together simultaneously. Like a full team of AI employees coordinating on a project at the same time. And they didn't just announce this and walk away. They proved it. They took 16 AI agents and had them build an entire C compiler from scratch. For those who don't know what that means, a C compiler is one of the most complex pieces of software that exists. We're talking 100,000 lines of code. And these 16 AI agents built it from nothing. It actually compiles the Linux operating system. The cost? $20,000. A team of human engineers would have spent 6 months and probably $500,000 doing the same thing. Now, I told you at the beginning that this AI found 500 security flaws nobody else caught. Let me tell you that story, because honestly, this is the part that kept me up last night. Anthropic took Opus 4.6 and put it in a simple test environment. Basic tools, no special instructions. They just said, go find bugs in open source code. And this AI went to work. It didn't just scan for known patterns like traditional security tools do. It actually thought through the logic of how software works. In one case, it went through the entire history of a project called Ghostscript, found a spot where human developers had tried to fix a security hole, and then discovered that the fix itself was broken. It found the mistake that the humans made while trying to fix a different mistake. Think about that for a second. In another case, it found a vulnerability by reasoning about how a compression algorithm works mathematically, and figured out an edge case that could overflow a buffer. No human had caught that. No other AI had caught that. 500 vulnerabilities total, all confirmed by security researchers. The head of Anthropic's security team said something that honestly sent chills down my spine. He said this could become the primary way open source software gets secured in the future. AI finding the bugs that humans can't see. But flip that around for a second. If this AI understands software security deeply enough to find 500 flaws, that same understanding works both ways. And Anthropic knows it, which is why they added new restrictions. Now here's where I need to talk about the stock market, because what happened is absolutely insane and nobody is talking about it enough. 1 week before Opus 4.6 launched, Anthropic quietly released some plugins for their desktop tool called Cowork. One of those plugins automates legal work, contract review, NDA processing, compliance checks. Basically the stuff that giant companies charge billions of dollars a year to do. Thomson Reuters crashed almost 16% in a single day. LegalZoom dropped nearly 20%. Across the entire software sector, $285 billion vanished in one trading session. People started calling it the SaaSpocalypse. 285 billion. Gone. Because of a plugin. And then Anthropic dropped Opus 4.6, making the AI behind that plugin significantly more powerful. It's like setting a building on fire and then throwing gasoline on it. Now let me show you the benchmarks, because the numbers back up the panic. On general reasoning, Opus 4.6 nearly doubled its predecessor's score and crushed GPT-5.2. On the hardest reasoning test that exists for AI, called humanity's last exam, it leads every single model on the planet. On a benchmark that measures real-world business value, things like financial analysis and legal work, Opus 4.6 beats GPT 5.2 by 144 points. That means in a head-to-head comparison on actual business tasks, Opus 4.6 wins 70% of the time. That's not a close race. That's domination. But the absolute craziest part of this entire story is what OpenAI did next. And I promise you this is not made up. On the exact same day Opus 4.6 launched, at the exact same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, OpenAI panic dropped GPT 5.3 Codex. Same day, same hour. That has never happened before in the history of AI. Two companies releasing competing models at the exact same moment. OpenAI literally saw what was coming and rushed out a counterlaunch to steal the headlines. And it gets even more personal. This Sunday, both companies are running Super Bowl ads. Anthropic's ad makes fun of OpenAI for putting advertisements inside ChatGPT. It shows a guy asking a chatbot for advice, and the chatbot starts pitching dating apps. Sam Altman saw the ad and went on social media calling Anthropic authoritarian. This is not a technical disagreement anymore. This is a full-blown war between two companies that used to be the same company. Remember, Anthropic was founded by people who left OpenAI because they thought OpenAI wasn't safe enough. And now they're roasting each other during the Super Bowl. So what does all of this actually mean for you? And I mean you specifically, not some abstract future person. Right now, today, what does Opus 4.6 change? If you write code for a living, this model autonomously closed 13 issues and assigned 12 more to the right team members across a 50-person company in a single day. One day. No human oversight. If you work in finance, it can analyze SEC filings, build financial models, and create presentation decks faster than your entire team. Anthropic's product lead called this the inflection point for knowledge work, and their other executive coined a term that I think perfectly captures this moment. He called it vibe working, not vibe coding. Vibe working. The idea that AI has moved past answering your questions and into doing your actual job. Look, I cover AI every single day, and I'm going to be completely real with you. This feels different. It's not just better benchmarks. It's not just a bigger context window. It's that the gap between what this AI can do and what a human professional does for a living is closing so fast that even the stock market can see it happening in real time. If you made it this far, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, because this space is moving faster than anything I've ever seen, and I promise you, you do not want to fall behind. I'll see you in the next one.